Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're going to take a look at the new Versa Pro wireless. This is MSI's current top-of-the-line mouse. Now I will say first of all, before you get too excited, that this video is actually being recorded about 2 months before this actually releases here in the UK. So at the time of recording, I don't have ability to check it in MSI Center, any of the drivers or any of the official paperwork. So all I'm going is from the specs that were released at CES and also what is included on the box. So this won't be a full detailed review. This is more of an unboxing just to give you an idea of the product and what it can potentially do. Hopefully we'll do a follow-up video a little bit later on. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's take a look at what this thing is. And the first thing is the specifications. So to begin with, one of the key features of this is the fact that this actually supports the 8K polling rate. So yes, 8K polling rate, both wired and also wirelessly. So that is something which is a very big step up in the game. Now, if you're wondering what that actually means in reality is, if you think about it, most performance mice on the market at the moment use 1000 Hertz polling rate. So what this actually means is your mouse will actually communicate with your computer 1000 times per cycle or per second, or however it is they measure it. I'm not entirely sure. It's just insane even thinking about it. But by increasing it to 8K, it's basically doing it 8,000 times a cycle or a second or however they measure it. So this is going to be ultra sensitive. So if you're into that really twitchy gameplay, or you just want your mouse to be exactly in the right place at exactly the right time, then potentially this is going to be the one for you. Now, something else as well which we should discuss is the price on this thing. So the price on this isn't for the faint of heart, but it is relatively competitive in the market of 8K gaming mice. The UK MSRP for this particular mouse, which is released I believe on the 5th of May 2025, is going to be £129.99. So yeah, basically £130. Now obviously this is going to be one of those products which is going to appeal to a certain niche market, and that kind of niche market, people are used to paying that kind of price. For a lot of you out there, you're probably not, but certainly if you do want the top of the line mouse and you do want it to be MSI branded to coordinate with the rest of your MSI components, then this potentially could be a good choice for you. So let's take a look at what we actually get included in the box, then we'll talk about some of the other specifications and we'll take a look at the mouse itself and some of its neat, cool features. So to begin with, obviously in the box you get the mouse itself. And this is actually quite a nice mouse, although for me personally, being a left-handed person, it is a little bit awkward because it is really designed for right-handed people. Unfortunately, it isn't an ambidextrous design. It has got a definite bias towards right-handers, which I guess it should do. That is the way of the world. But yeah, very nice mouse. Weighs in around about 75 grams. So not an ultra lightweight, but there is a lot going on here. And also you have got the flared sides as well for support. So obviously that is going to increase the weight a little bit. But considering the actual technology and also the physical size of it, it's actually quite lightweight for what it is. The next part of it is the charging dock. So this is MSI's charging dock designed to be used with this mouse. Now actually it's quite handy because this is Qi certified. So you can actually use this to charge up your mobile phone or your AirPods or whatever it is, anything which supports the Qi charging standard. So that's actually quite nice. So if you're using your mouse as you would on your desktop, but you've got your phone and you want to charge it, just plonk it on there and it's good to go. I've used it with my Apple iPhone. It's been absolutely great. So that is the charging dock. This is using a USB Type-C connection. I've used my own USB Type-C cable in here, but don't worry, you do get two included actually in the packaging. So two USB Type-C to Type-A cables, both of which are using the very low resistance flexible cabling, and it's got that kind of friction free so it doesn't scag on surfaces, which is excellent, and also there's a little bit of cable management going on. You're probably wondering, why is there two? Well, actually that is somewhat of a good question. So you can have it set up in various ways, which is why they've given you two cables. So you can either decide to have it just a wired mouse, plug it in directly using a USB cable straight to your PC. That's absolutely fine. Or alternatively, you can use this adapter on the end. So this is USB Type-C to USB Type-A. Now what you can do with this is you can use possibly the other cable and you can actually have that so it's possibly a little bit closer to your desktop. This little mounting section has a rubberized little section on the bottom to stop it moving around on your desk, and you can plug in the wireless receiver there should you wish to. So you can take that with you maybe on your travels and leave this at home. The Wi-Fi dongle is actually included inside of the mouse. So let's take a quick look at that next. Now the actual charging puck on the bottom is actually magnetic. So what we do is twist it around a little bit and it moves out, so you can then pull it away. So this is the magnetic charging puck. Very lightweight, so it doesn't add a great deal of weight to the actual unit itself. And just in here, you'll see from some B-roll, this is where the wireless dongle is actually stored. So 2.4 gigahertz and also 8K, so that is pretty awesome. Now currently at the moment, that is plugged into my PC, so let's grab that so we can take a closer look. So as you'd expect from a modern design, it's absolutely tiny. So yeah, there you go. An 8K receiver, MSI branding on there, very minimal. And this is great because what you can do is then you can either plug it directly into your PC, as I had just now, or you can plug it into this receiver adapter, so you can have that closer to on maybe your desktop, however you want to do it. If you're traveling, whatever, you don't need the charging aspect. Also, if you want to charge it up quickly, you can just disconnect that, plug that into the front of your mouse, because it has a USB-C on the front, and then you can go ahead and use your mouse wired, charge it, whatever you want to do. So pretty flexible in that regard, but also you can as well store it in the actual charging dock itself. So again, to have it nice and tidy on your desk, you've got your charging dock, there's a USB type A on there, so all you need to do is plug that into the top there, and it fits in flush, so it's not going to disrupt your mouse. So then you've got your receiver on your desktop with the charger, bit of RGB on the side, and then you've got your mouse on the top charging, and that's obviously using Qi charging, and it's also magnetic as well, so it just kind of holds it in place, which is yeah, pretty cool. Also, depending on what is going on in terms of charging rates, it will actually light up on the devices themselves. So when you plug in a device and put it on there, the sides will normally change to tell you what is going on. This is actually fully charged at the moment, so it probably won't do it. If I turn it into the off position, I'll put it on there, you see it's fully charged, so it's not going to waste any battery by continuously charging it. So it's got that built-in intelligent charging, so you don't damage the battery. Now the battery inside of this is a 550 milliamp hour. When it comes to actual length of use, honestly, I have no idea whatsoever. I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere in the region of about 40 hours or so. It's going to be dependent on things like your RGB settings, the polling rates and all that kind of stuff. If you want to actually get the longest life out of this, turn off your lighting altogether and put it into Bluetooth mode, because it does actually have Bluetooth mode as well. So this is a multi-mode wireless device. You can have it with Bluetooth 5.3, or you can use it on the 2.4 gigahertz. And in the 2.4 gigahertz, you can also choose in MSI sensor, or at least you should be able to. You should be able to choose the polling rates as well. So if you want to have it at the kind of lightning fast 8K, you can set it to that. It's going to make your battery go down quicker. Or you can set it down to a lower frequency, maybe 1000 hertz, 500, whatever you want to do. So those are pretty good options. So pretty flexible, I think you'll agree. And also, if you want to, if you don't want to put the charging puck in, to save yourself a little bit of weight, this is only a few grams, maybe 10 grams at the best. So if you want to reduce the weight even further, you can use it obviously without that in place. That is entirely up to you. Although I think most people will probably put it in there just to kind of keep things nice and safe. Now, next we'll take a look at the mouse itself, because there's actually quite interesting what was going on here as well. So this is using the Pixart PAW3395 flawless sensor, which is a fantastic gaming sensor, very, very high resolution, up to 26,000 DPI. Also, you're looking at 650 inches per second tracking rate, and also it will support acceleration of up to 50 Gs, which is pretty impressive specs. I'm pretty sure you'll agree with that. This is possibly in the top 3 sensors in the world right now when it comes to gaming mice. So yeah, excellent start for that. The design of it, again, like I said, it isn't ambidextrous, sadly, unfortunately for me, but for right-handers it's going to be great. It's going to be very supportive, especially on the side there for your thumb, where you have got multiple buttons going on. So this has got 13 programmable buttons, which took me a little while to work out how that works, but certainly it has. Some of them are multi-mode, so do take that into account. There isn't physically 13 buttons on here, but it kind of takes the Logitech G502, whichever the high model is of that, which is, I think it's got 11 buttons. It just takes it a little bit further. So you've got your left mouse button, you've got your right mouse button, as you'd expect normally. You've also got your wheel in the center there, which is a multi-mode wheel. We'll look at that shortly. You've also got the DPI button on the top there, or you can set that to be basically RGB button. The choice is yours. The one in front of that is actually to change the multi-mode. That can also be toggled as well in the software, I believe. And then on the sides, you've got a sniper button, so you can press that down and that will kind of reduce or increase the DPI settings depending on how you've set it up. So you've got your sniper button on the side there. Then you've also got another button on the side, a multi-mode button. Then you've got the forward and back buttons, traditional places there. And also, I didn't mention it already, but the wheel actually has tilt as well. So you've got another 2 clicks there potentially. So clicks left and right, and also centralized as well. Now we'll take a look at the wheel. So the wheel that's at the moment is in the kind of unlocked or infinity scroll mode. So if you spin the wheel, it spins forever, which for some games or even just for spreadsheets, that sort of thing, this is going to be really useful. So you can just fly through your spreadsheets or whatever it is you're doing in your games, scroll completely silently, which is absolutely beautiful. It's got a really nice feel to it as well. You've got these diamond type effect on the wheel as you have on the grippy sides as well. And if you press the button again, you can toggle it. So now it's in the normal kind of notched mode. So the kind of tactile feedback for your mouse. I mean, that is pretty awesome should you want to use that. At least you've got the choices. That is the thing with this mouse. Yes, it costs a lot of money. I'm not going to skirt away from that because this is extremely expensive for a mouse. But you've got so many features in here and so much flexibility. Apart from it not being really suitable for left-handed people, other than that, right-handed people, you've got so many options of here of basically how you can set up or configure your mouse, whether it be for MMOs or whether it be for FPS games or whether it be for spreadsheets, video editing. That scrolling down the timeline with the mouse wheel was going to be fantastic when you got it infinity mode. So, and scrolling zooms, etc. So yeah, lots of configuration options there. So going back to the design, obviously, yeah, you've got the diamond-shaped rubber coating actually on the scroll wheel, which is replicated on the sides. So you've got a really nice grippy sides there. And also, being that this is a premium MSI product, you've also got an absolute ton of RGB, as you're probably seeing from some B-roll. And actually, if I turn the mouse back on, you'll see some of that lighting now. So you've actually got multi-zone lighting as well. So you've got the mouse wheel, which has illumination in the wheel itself. You've got the illumination on the side here. You've also got illumination on the other side. And also you've got the illuminated MSI logo on the back there. And you can cycle through the various different RGB modes by pressing this button here. Or again, you should, I don't know for sure, but you should be able to control all of this in MSI Center. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the deal, but at the moment I plugged it in, MSI Center doesn't recognize it at all because technically it's not on sale yet. So that makes absolute sense. But yeah, lots and lots of flexibility options there. And also when you press the buttons on the bottom, such as the DPI selector, this is the kind of default DPI selector from the factory. So you press that button and also you get the LEDs change color to let you know which one of the 5 preset modes you're already in. So preset modes, again, flexible, like 400, 800, 1600, 2400, 4000, etc. You can configure those in MSI Center as well, up to 26,000 DPI, which is absolutely nuts. Also, going back to the bottom, so Pixart sensor in the middle there. You've got nice 100% PTFE glide feet there in more locations, because also you've got this side section for supporting for your thumb. So that has the PTFE glide pad on it as well. Also, you've got the switch there. So that switches between the various modes. So again, multimodal wireless support, Bluetooth at the top there. So Bluetooth 5.3 and below. You've also got the off mode, which basically is going to be kind of wired mode, or just for turning it off if you're not using it. And you've also got the Wi-Fi selection at the bottom there. So depending on which version, so not Wi-Fi, 2.4 gigahertz, but kind of Wi-Fi. Anyway, so that is pretty much it. In terms of other specifications, I think I've pretty much covered all of it, other than one of the bits which I personally like in a mouse, and that is optical buttons. So the actual switches in here are using the Omron optical switches. Yeah, these sound absolutely great. The responsiveness and also the longevity of them as well, because they are optical. It's basically there's a beam of light passing through a switch. So when you press the button down, when the beam of light is broken, it reports movement, or a click, I should say. Whereas with obviously analog switches or traditional push switches, it's kind of bimetallic strips which you kind of flex to make them connect. So this is a lot more accurate and also a lot more responsive. So let's listen to what the mouse buttons actually sound like. So you've got the left click, really nice plunger sound to that. Then you've got the right click, and also it doesn't really matter where You press it, depending on your grip style. Then you've got the middle mouse, and then you've got the left and right tilt. Then you've got your multi-mode mouse button. That's just a simple click toggle on and off for changing the modes. Then you've got your DPI button. And then on the side, you've got your sniper button. Then you've got the programmable button or mode switch. And then you've got your back and forward buttons. And those feel really nice. There's no kind of mush to them. There is a little bit of pre-travel on the side buttons, more so on the front one. And the other buttons, I'm not really detecting much pre-travel at all, if any. The only thing I will say is because the length of those actual buttons, when you click towards the back, there does feel to be a little bit more flex towards the front than obviously at the back because of the way the plastic is designed. But yeah, overall, I think this is a cracking bit of kit. For me, it's just unfortunate that it's not a left-handed mouse. It's very difficult. I can use a mouse right-handed, but not as accurately when it comes to gaming, that kind of stuff. For gaming, I do tend to use my left hand. I am left-handed, but yeah, it is able to use. It does feel very, very comfortable. So depending on your grip, like palm grip is going to be fine. If you've got your claw grip, again, it's going to be absolutely fine. The hump is in a really nice position. It's got a very similar shape actually to the Versa 300 range. Just you've got the extra flared section. So yeah, if they did a Versa 300 version of this with this specification and also the charging dock, I would be absolutely in. But because it's a right-handed mouse, for me personally, it's not really appropriate. But certainly moves around quite nicely, and even though it has got a little bit of extra weight than what we're used to with ultralight mice, it does slide around very nicely. The PTFE does move around really nice. This mouse pad is wrecked, but it still goes across very nice and smoothly indeed. So I think that is pretty much it. Sorry I couldn't show you the MSI Center and the other things you can do, like obviously setting macros and all that kind of stuff, which inevitably you are going to be able to do, and also changing RGB. I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to change the RGB on the charging block as well to synchronize with your mouse and also potentially the rest of your MSI components in MSI Center. Hopefully we might get to take another look at this at a later date after the initial release and when the software is out. Be very interested to see how that goes, and also for some of you probably got questions regarding that. If you have any further questions, there will be links in the video description for the product itself. Obviously, again, I'm recording this video almost 2 months in advance of the actual release, so yeah, a little bit sketchy on what's going on there. But overall, I think in terms of the price, you can get other mice of a similar kind of specification, or at least the internals possibly, for slightly cheaper. But to have all the other stuff that MSI have included, such as the Qi charging, the extra USB cables, all the flexibility, the extra buttons, etc. I think they've done a pretty good job. And even though it is £130 MSRP, it isn't really extraordinarily expensive. Yes, it is for a mouse, but in terms of the spec and comparable models of a similar specification, I think it's a pretty reasonable price, which I didn't think I was going to say. Anyway, there you go. That pretty much wraps up my kind of overview of the Versa Pro wireless. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, smash the like button. If you want to see more content like this on a daily basis, maybe consider hitting subscribe and the chime notification. That way you'll be notified of future video releases. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.